Okay. This is try number 5, I think. So, hello again. Uh, I've never had so much trouble starting a video. Usually I just start rambling and that's it. But I wanted this to be thoughtful because that's been kind of the theme that I've been going through over the last probably 4 or 5 days. When you first get your diagnosis, it's a shock to you, and however you deal with that, whether it's denial or, you know, fear or sadness or confusion, fear obviously is being scared. These things sort of hit you, and it's different for everyone. But for me, there was a lot of disbelief. I was just like, this is not really happening. And so then I sort of embraced that, yes, this is very much happening. And I didn't really know what to do or how to feel. And it's almost like I didn't even have the capacity for it 2 months ago or 3 months ago. You kind of go, you react however that is for you, but you're in reaction mode, and you're in, you're looking for answers, you're looking for direction, you're taking advice. You don't know what's ahead of you. You don't know what you don't know what your new life is now. Now you have this new life. What do you do? And you're dealing with pain, and you're dealing with your own mortality. And so you have those sort of questions and those thoughts and feelings that come up in your mind. After a while, so for me, something switched last week, and I don't know exactly what it was, but all of a sudden my focus became different, and I started to question what I believe about cancer. So one of the things that you realize if you've been going down this rabbit hole at all, if you've been diagnosed and you're trying to find answers, is that there are so many different opinions and viewpoints and advice. And there's people who survive successfully, they're miraculous remission, all this kind of stuff. And then there's people who die horribly. They get diagnosis and they're dead 2 months later. So it's really, really tough to make sense of, and then to make sense of it for yourself. And I just had a switch, like a light went off. It was actually on Friday, so today's Monday, so this was 3-4 days ago. I was in the ER, and usually when I'm in the ER, I'm very it feels very panicky. Like I know I'm going to be okay, but I'm in a lot of pain, and I don't want to be there. I feel like I feel like I'm letting myself down, or like maybe I'm not getting better. It just feels like a step back. It feels like a punch in the gut, literally and figuratively. And this last time I was in the ER, I just found myself talking to the doctors like, this is what we do. Basically I just come in and we do this, and you patch me up basically, and you send me home. And I was sort of listening and observing myself, having this sort of pragmatic approach to it of like not freaking out internally that I was in the ER, but rather accepting it. Like, okay, this is just part of my healthcare now. Like, unfortunately, the ER is part of my healthcare now, and I try for it to not be, but I don't always have control over that. And excuse me, oh my gosh, as much as I would love control over that, it's just something I haven't dialed in yet. So like I said, I found myself being very just like matter of fact. Like I wasn't reacting in the same way that I was reacting before. And so I observed myself being that way, and I thought, wait a second, does this mean that I'm moving out of reacting to this sort of disaster of having cancer? And is my thought process starting to change, starting to adapt? Am I starting to have insight? Or, it just felt like I was gaining more control over what was happening to me and how I felt about that. So that led me to think, wait a second, like my whole focus is, okay, how do I get rid of cancer? And so all of my internet and all of my research and the endless hours of lectures and videos and podcasts and everything has been about how to get rid of it. But it didn't really explain to me what I'm going to do about it. Like, obviously I have it, I want to get rid of it, but what's the deeper meaning? What are the other levels to this that's happening? What else is going on? And so I started researching more. The books I downloaded were about the body's, sort of inclination for survival, to heal itself, and looking at cancer in a different way, is not as something that's gone wrong, but more of a healing mechanism. Is cancer actually, because we're sort of told that cancer is this, sort of glitch in our genetics, and it causes the cells to become, this sort of monster inside of your body that's going to devour you until you're dead. Take all of your resources, all of your life force, and just consume you until there's nothing left. And I had to question that. Wait a second. What if that's not what it is? Like, it certainly feels like that when this first happens, and you hear of people that do pass away of this. That's very much what it feels like. And there's this powerlessness that comes along with having a diagnosis, because we don't understand it as well as we need to, so we're sort of fighting this sort of monster that we don't understand. So, like, a light bulb went off, and I just thought, wait a second, what if what we believe as a society, a culture, the medical field, the narrative that's out there surrounding cancer, what if it's not actually true? Like, going out on a limb here, but really, what if it's not? What if it's actually, what if we're handling it all wrong? So then that opened up a whole it actually gave me hope, even though I just opened up this whole new bag of worms, or can of worms, I guess. I just thought, wait a second. I've been looking at it so narrow, with blinders on, and I felt like I needed to change my perspective about what's actually happening. And that's part of that is listening to my own gut, like, how do I feel about this? And is what I feel about it, is that based on like good information? Is there a different way of looking at this that maybe is more accurate? Maybe cancer's not something that's just it's just bad luck and devours us and kills us, and that's it. Like, it's just, you're SOL, you're shit out of luck. Maybe that's not the case. Maybe there's something benevolent in it. And I'm not talking about the death aspect of it. I'm talking about the living aspect of it. Because one thing that cancer brings up for you is you obviously are being faced now with your own mortality, but that also causes you to face who you are as a human being, like your life, like how much are you living, how alive are you? And you kind of only have two choices. You're either marching towards your death or you're marching towards life. And making sure that your beliefs, that if you do want to live and you do want to heal this, not beat it. You're not in war with it. That I know for sure. But if you want to heal this, however you view it, you have to make a choice, and you have to make a decision. It's not, it can't be half-assed, I'll tell you that. All the stories, everyone I've talked to, like, there's some decisions that need to be made, and you have to decide for yourself what this means for you, what cancer means for you. And then questioning your beliefs. Do I believe this is a terrible thing, or do I believe that this is a blessing? And that's a really important distinction, and that's a really important thing to figure out, because when you figure that out and you have clarity on what you believe, that 100% affects your outcome. It affects your ability to heal this if that's what you choose to do. And you have to have an open mind. And the one thing that I see between people who, succumb to this, or people who just not only survive it, but thrive from it. This thing happens to them and they come out thriving and full of life. I really can't talk today. You know what? I'm going to actually save this. I'm going to stop right there. This thought isn't quite finished. If you have any comments or any feedback, put it in the comment box below. I almost feel like I've just been on information overload, and there's so much to this, and I'm still fully I'm still underwater. I will check back in with you guys when I get clarity. Thanks for hanging in with me. Hopefully this gives you some something to think about or not think about. But thanks for hanging in with me, and I'm gonna check it back in with you guys when I'm inspired. So when I sort of have seen the light in this journey. So, and the next step. All right, that's it for now. All right, good night, you guys.